Well,
welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is NRL from the Sidelines. And as we... What?
We're following your lead.
Yeah, we were talking until you interrupted us with the show.
No, you're interrupting the show. As we do every time this week, we are going to talk about what's happened in the NRL and the last round of football, and then we'll talk about next week's round, which is going to be really exciting.
You've fallen over again.
I've fallen over again. Well, Souths are sort of like that. They're a fallen over team at the moment. So they'll probably stay lying down just as long as they pick up this week. Gentlemen, how are we?
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
Oh, my foot's still killing me, but it's okay.
He's a whinger. He's an old man now. All of his aches hurt.
Yes,
Isn't that the point of an ache?
I've got canes on either side of me.
Isn't that the point of an ache?
Yeah, we're holding him up. That's what he's saying.
Okay, Brian, I'm going to give you an option.
Oh,
Okay?
yes. I'm listening.
Would you like to start the show talking about the injury toll? Or would you like to start talking about that stupid idea about a super match against the All Blacks?
And let's have your opinion without it being biased by anybody.
Exactly. It's my unbiased opinion that it's a pathetic idea.
So there you go, let's move on.
Right. Well, now that you've said that, Steve, I think I have the right of reply. It's a stupid idea.
You agree?
No, it's a stupid
You
idea.
said you agree. You said it's a stupid.
I said I have the right of reply. But I think it's stupid for a different reason.
Well, I haven't told you why I think it's stupid.
Why do you think it's stupid?
Because it's just dumb.
Right. Okay. So I actually have a legitimate reason. I actually think it doesn't do the All Blacks brand or the Kangaroos brand any good in playing each other.
No.
It does absolutely nothing for the brand.
It achieves nothing.
However, if it was the All Blacks versus the
Kiwis,
the rugby league side,
it'd be 400-0 at the moment.
No, because of the hybrid rules that they're looking at. I actually think that you've got that there is an advantage there. There's an advantage for both teams.
What? Name one.
That the All Blacks could absolutely destroy the rugby league team, and their brand is forever untarnished.
And how is that an advantage to rugby league?
It's not, but if the rugby league team wins, all of those people who are following the All Blacks, there is the possibility that they then look at it and go, my goodness, that rugby league team is actually good. There's an advantage. But having Australia play New Zealand, I don't see a win. If the All Blacks lose, all it does is give them a black eye. If the Kangaroos lose, it's like, yeah, well, we're playing Union anyway. There's no win.
But what's the point? It's not like you're going to play half the game of league and then half the game of Union. You're going to make a whole new game that no one's going to truly understand, that the refs aren't going to understand, that no one's ever going to be able to watch again, unless all of a sudden we start a Super League Union thing and play it.
Yeah,
I don't see what any advantage
right, like I said, but I can only see an advantage, like I said, is if there's an advantage to be gained in your brand. And I don't see a Kangaroos All Black game doing anything for either brand. It's pointless.
No, Tom, what do you think?
I'll watch it. I don't know. I haven't really thought much about it, to be honest.
See, it's interesting, the people who are coming out, Nick Politis from the Roosters is saying it's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Blake Solly at South is saying it's a dumb idea. Wayne Bennett at South is saying it's a great idea. Best idea since State of Origin, he says. I just don't see it. I don't
see any advantage.
Why bastardise the game because we want to...
Mind you...
For nothing.
Mind you, in saying that, in my mind, if the Kangaroos and the All Blacks play and the All Blacks win, it means nothing. But if the Kangaroos and the All Blacks play and the Kangaroos win, man, that is a big
Why?
statement.
It's not a game they're going to play next week.
They don't have to win. The Kangaroos don't have to win. They have to be competitive. If they're competitive, people are going to go, well, All Blacks are kings of the world.
Yep.
If the rugby league team can hold their own with them,
all that's going to happen is they're going to
publicity.
say All Blacks are kings of the world in Union. This is not a game of Union. So how can they be kings? How can anyone claim any victory?
Because what you're doing is you're testing the Union team on how they play league, and you're testing the league team.
No, we're not. We're testing on how they play a hybrid game.
Well, no, because halfway they changed
No,
over.
that's a whole new game.
No. That was last year's idea.
Yeah, no, this is a hybrid.
That's what I read.
And that's my point. I think that's a dumb idea as well, but that's my point. This is a game that no one's ever going to see the next week.
Okay.
There's nothing to achieve.
Yeah.
Right.
Go on to Facebook. Brian,
Yeah.
over here, is going to post on Facebook tonight when he gets home the question about whether you think a hybrid game between Australia and the All Blacks is a good idea or not.
All right, I'm bored. Let's move on. It was a boring topic. Let's move on.
Really? I've read the paper every day this week, Tom, just because you don't read newspapers.
I do.
You're an old man, obviously.
I just read the financials.
All right, let's talk about the injuries.
Wow.
Some substantial injuries out of this weekend's round.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks have been absolutely horrific.
They have. So read them out.
Huge. Oh, I don't know the last 2 weeks. Like I said, I know I've got the injury list. I know that.
You've got the whole clubs.
I've got the whole clubs.
Yeah.
So Matt Lodge was injured.
But he's going to be playing next week.
Round 8.
Yeah, let's not worry
That's
about
round
those.
8 next week.
Those that are out for a week or two. I mean, that happens every round.
So
there are some substantial
Bradley and
ones.
Verrills both. I mean, what's the chances of 2 ACLs for the same team within 14 minutes of each other? That's just horrendous.
Well, the Roosters complained about the ground. They found that it didn't have
excuse
anything.
me.
I'm sorry. Okay.
If you look at the press conference,
we
Trent
go.
Robinson said that is nonsense that we made a complaint.
Well, everyone said Nick
We all
Politis
know
made
that he
a formal
did.
complaint to the
Formal
NRL.
complaint.
Travis Toomer, the conditioning coach, at halftime said to somebody, the groundskeeper, he said, "Hey, it's sticky out there." That's what he said. He said it's sticky out there. That's what he said. That's what he said. There was no formal complaint by the Roosters.
Well,
At least as far,
what are
at
you doing?
the time of the press conference, there was no complaint made, and Trent Robinson refuted that.
well,
So,
then he's got to go and talk to his boss because everyone was saying that his boss put in a formal complaint.
he says it didn't happen.
Anyway,
Corey Horsbrook.
how long for?
Round 20.
Wow,
Okay.
that's a big.
Can I just say, like, for
You
those
can.
who didn't watch the game, he was tackled, legitimate tackle. Bloke came in low around the legs like they usually do. 2 blokes over the top to stop the pass getting away. And he carried on as though dead set. Someone
They've been
had
out to get him.
Yeah, as though someone had ripped his eyes out of his socket and tried to shove him down his throat.
Yeah. He's young, impetuous. He's a redhead. He's fiery.
Look, I get it. You can have your fire and your angry, but seriously, that was ridiculous the way he carried on, and it was an accident. It was he rolled his ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that like I personally I don't mind when players give it to the crowd when they're getting booed, like Cameron Smith kicking the ball into someone in the crowd. Adam Fanoa bloke saying, haha, we're the champions after they win, that kind of thing. I don't care. I think that interplay is fantastic.
Yeah.
But he was just going off. I thought it was disgusting. Will Hopewadi did his ankle.
Within minutes of the game starting, you
Yep.
thought game over completely when that happened.
There is a chance that Josh Dugan will not be back for a couple of weeks. Of course, Manly have Dylan Walker and Tom Trbojevic both out for a number of time.
Did Brad Parker come back?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
I
one
tell you,
game
I think the Roosters are going to survive the injuries. I think you guys are going to be in big trouble.
Cameron Munster did his knee.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's 4 to 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What else we got? Well, Connor Watson's still out, which is interesting.
That's right. Yep.
Mitchell Moses.
That'll be interesting to Parramatta. I get they could carry on during that game, but to come out and play a whole new game without him,
Sure.
He'll
We've
be
got to
a
have a
loss.
whole new game plan when you
That's right.
suddenly have no player. So they've got to look at their stocks.
Kurt, moving on.
Okay, so let's move on now. Benji Marshall. Do we want to talk about Benji and how he's been treated at the Tigers at the moment?
do.
You've got an opinion?
I do have an opinion on this.
Do you have an opinion, Brian?
Yeah, I like players that stay at one club. I know Benji hasn't, but he was forced out of the West Tigers last time. And he had stints at the Warriors, the Broncos, the Dragons, and then back to the Tigers. Considering this is probably his last year, I actually think that he's been treated very harshly by Madge Maguire.
Harshly.
Well, I mean,
He is no worse than the players they have in the halves at the moment.
But like I said off camera, do the ends justify the means? Because in the end, they're playing better. They're more cohesive. I
don't think they are playing better.
Well, they're winning more games, and they look better.
They've won 2 out of 4. 50% win rate since he's been dropped.
Better.
Well, that's better than what they were with him.
Oh, look, I don't know.
I think we all agree that Benji's a great player, and he still has a lot to offer. I think his defence is the issue. We have talked about that before as well.
So, do the Tigers let him go? That's the question.
Well, I mean, what's the alternative is he sits there with no reserve grade doing nothing.
Yeah.
Or he goes and finishes his career at least playing football. That's the sad part.
Look, I don't know.
I don't think they should let him go.
See, I've never been a fan of the transfer system that clubs keep proposing. So Momorowski down in Melbourne and Harry Grant up at the Tigers. But if there was a short-term arrangement, so say you could do a month, and you had a club, Parramatta, who have lost Mitchell Moses, for example. What's wrong? And he's likely to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. So why don't we? What is there a problem with having someone like? Seriously, I wish the Roosters would fall over.
He's obviously not paying attention.
I'm listening.
Is there a problem with having Benji Marshall then loaned out to the Eels for a month? They pay his wage. It's all okay. It's rubber stamped by the NRL. It's 1 month. It's 4 weeks.
This early in the season, I think I could cop it. If it was round 18, 19, 20 or something, when they might be on the cusp of finals or premiership glory, you'd think, no, then he gets to leave and he gets to contribute to them getting there, but not. That's just a hard one.
No, but hang on, we're about to have exactly that.
Yep.
So the player that the Roosters lent to the Warriors, they've said we now want him back. We have an injury,
and that was the agreement.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah,
but look how much it's now. That's probably going to affect even more what the Warriors' situation is at the moment. Now they're going to lose another player.
Yeah, but they've got a massive injury toll. So if like take for example Manly. Look, obviously we're skinny on depth.
Yep.
Dylan Walker's gone down.
Yep.
He's out to what is it, round 10, round 12. So Benji's in reserve grade. He's not getting any games. Why can't there be a trade arrangement between Manly and the Tigers? And that's what I'm saying. I don't like the whole year-long thing, but for a month to cover injuries.
I prefer it for a year. If it's going to be, do it for the season. I think it's grossly unfair on the Warriors to pull back a player who, we've now had an injury, now we want him back. He's featuring in their team.
We actually offered a player. Did you? No.
Oh, I don't know.
You did not offer a player. We offered a player.
I'm not having a shot at the Roosters for it. I'm just saying it's unfair that they're going to now say we've had an injury and want him back.
Possibly.
I think it should be. I think it should be a year.
And that's what I'm saying. Like if it was a month contract and it was like you've got 4 weeks. That's it.
No,
particularly right now when there's no reserve grade. Anyway, I
absolutely hate the idea. So
I've come around because I want Benji to go out as a player, not in reserve grade.
I think all of us do, but I'm just not sure it's that way. So Tom, you bought us these things.
Yes, I did.
Why?
Just because I thought they look good.
Are we got a new sponsor?
No, we don't.
About to have some money roll in for the show? Or?
No. Any sponsors out there? We are after sponsorship.
Now, unfortunately,
Harvey Norman, take anyone's money.
Harvey Norman take your money. They don't give you money.
Oh, there's a Harvey Norman.
Harvey Norman, yes.
Jerry's got some money,
and Jerry likes the footy.
So maybe,
but we're not giving him a plug because he's not a sponsor.
Not until he's okay. So there's a way we won't give him a plug. All right, let's go on to the football, gentlemen. So round 7 has just completed, and on Thursday night it was the Panthers and the Bunnies, and the Panthers won 20-12. And as I said on Facebook, I'd be embarrassed if I was the Panthers.
Did you say?
I did actually. The Panthers, Souths were pathetic. Souths were bad, and yet the only way that the Panthers could score the winning try was against 11 Souths players. I know everyone's raving about the Panthers. But I'm not sold on the Panthers because they could only beat a South team that kept throwing away the ball.
Yeah, I think the score flattered the Rabbitohs.
Oh yeah,
about that.
Yeah, but do you think so?
Yeah.
I think it really. I think it was a.
At no stage in that game did I think the Panthers were going to lose.
Oh, neither did I. They were going to win it from
there's
minute.
But they went a long time. They went a long time before they scored. When they should have kept rolling.
Yeah.
And they
Look,
didn't.
I believe the Panthers have a problem scoring tries. I think there's an issue there. Like I said, they scored the winning try. It was a very low scoring game. The winning try was scored against 11 players. They were always going to score a try against 11 players. I think the Panthers have an issue, and I know everyone's raving about them, but I'm not sold.
Well, I think Cleary's a big reason why they're so successful. I mean, I think James Fisher-Harris is having a barnstorming year.
I was going to say it's interesting. It's interesting. I am all for players for a team. If a player is injured, targeting them. Geez, South's targeted Cleary's face. You know what?
But that wasn't what was wrong. You know what would happen. You know what happened.
It was actually interesting. I wasn't entirely comfortable with the way that they targeted Cleary.
But every halfback gets targeted. I mean, Reynolds every time.
He copped a fair amount of just in the face stuff.
Right.
No. But his face wasn't like that. It was because he had an infection.
Yeah, which is why they were targeting him.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a bit. It was the first time ever I thought, well, it's the guy's face. I don't know. Leave it alone.
It was an ugly look for the poor kid.
So it was a tough performance by him. It was man.
It was. No, it was good.
He was terrific. He started to own the team.
Tom, how good was Latrell?
I knew this.
Yeah,
how good was Latrell?
You guys start playing the team and not the man.
Well, Latrell did go back.
Seriously,
he did go back.
Okay, he had a bad game, but you know what? Teddy's going to have a bad game.
You know why? You know why? It's because he was in my fantasy league team.
Well, stop picking him.
9 was.
Yeah, he did.
He had his score number 9.
9. He scored 9. I lost because of him.
He didn't have a good game.
But
then you know what? Neither did Renault. Neither did
Cody
anybody.
Walker.
I tell you what, South need an enforcer. We have lost a lot because Burgess isn't there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There is no one.
There's no fudge to go around anymore.
Sewer had a good game. Jaden Sewer.
Tell you what, he milked a couple of penalties.
Oh, he did it well.
He milked a couple of penalties.
Half his
But
life.
the Roosters of Manly never do that. Okay.
Correct.
Hey? Never.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Okay, let's go on to Nestrata Jubilee. This game was moved. Storm 50 beat the Warriors 6.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I think the Warriors are starting to look like they just want to go home.
Yeah.
They really do.
Sacking Kearney did not fire them up.
No, and it was a bad time to do it.
It was an awful time.
It was wrong.
Yeah, I actually, you know what, it was quite surprising because of the teams that won this weekend and even some of the teams that lost, there was a lot in those teams. I thought the Storm weren't good and they still won by 44 points.
Yeah.
I just thought the Storm
weren't good.
They were just rolling through the motions.
Yeah.
There seemed to be no urgency in anything.
It was a training run for them. Honestly,
it really was. There was a massive difference in enthusiasm.
And even once their 5'8" went down, and he went down midway through this first half, didn't he?
Yeah. So
it was early-ish in the game. Yeah. Yes.
Any positives for the Warriors? Because I couldn't find any.
No, but now they're going to lose another player because the Roosters want theirs back. So
and they've got 3 players who have decided to go back home.
Yeah, I honestly don't think unless they get their families over here or they let them travel, I can't see them finishing the season.
So what do we think about Smith and Bellamy going into the dressing room after the game?
I'm in two minds about that. I don't know if it's almost cringeworthy. Or if it's a good thing.
My initial thought was it seemed condescending.
That's what I felt.
But if they went in there simply to say, we understand that you're doing it tough and we're here for you as part of the fraternity or whatever, then that's okay with me. But if they actually started to give advice, then that would be condescending.
I don't know. I think that's all they would have done. I honestly believe, I honestly believe they went in there with good intentions, but...
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
They've just smashed them by 50 and now you're walking in saying, listen...
Personally, personally, I think they went in there with good intentions,
Yeah,
and you know what? I think we should just take it at face value.
Yeah, okay.
You know, the team's got no coach. They've just been pummeled 44 points. They didn't look like they were in the game at all. The Storm weren't good and still managed to do that to them.
Yeah.
And and we wouldn't be, realistically, we may not be having a comp right now if it wasn't for them.
Sure.
If one of the best coaches and most respected players in the game, I'll put all my bias aside, and one of the most respected players in the game can't walk into the opposition dressing room in those circumstances and say, "Boys, we know it's tough," then I don't know. Like, what are we? You know.
Well, it could have had an effect because originally those 3 blokes were going to go home this week, and apparently they're going to stay until the end of round 8 or 9, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I just say, look, I'll put it on the line right now. I hate the cameras in the dressing rooms. I hate it. I hate that we saw that happen. I hate that 2 weeks ago, Latrell Mitchell was sitting, bawling his eyes out, and Wayne Bennett was comforting. I hate that we see that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want it. I want to see what happens on the field, and I'm a big believer in what happens on the field stays on the field.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what happens back there.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see Victor Radley dancing around in the dressing room and stand up and hit his head on a locker. I'm thinking, who cares? Like, I just don't care.
Yeah, I agree with you. I enjoy, I'm sure you guys do as well, as seeing the victory song.
Yeah.
But I think that's all it has to be.
Yeah. Or a good rant from the coach. That's always good to watch.
No, see, not even that. I don't even like it. And all this, I'm being a bit sidetracked now. But, last week, all this stuff came out about Madge Maguire and when he took a baseball bat in and belted up a locker at Brookvale and
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, it was Madge's coaching tactics when he was at Souths and just
Cheers, it worked. Come back,
and a whole series of mad stuff that he did.
Was he trying to get a renovation going?
Oh, listen. Anyway, let's talk about Desi Hasler breaking down doors.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. None of that should be made public. That's between the players and the coach, and let's leave it that way.
I agree with you. I think there's a limit that we should.
Annoys me.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Now Wayne Bennett agrees with us, by the way.
All right.
Okay, let's move on to.
I might be wrong.
Let's move on to Friday night, where the Roosters beat St George 26-12, and hats off to the Dragons. They actually
I
played
thought
well.
they really aimed up the Dragons.
It is pretty hard to beat the ref.
Yeah.
It is.
It is. That first try by Morris was a double movement.
Oh, without doubt.
And it went upstairs.
I'm 50-50 on it, so yeah.
Well, see, and if that was against your team,
you'd be screaming.
I'm okay to watch it objectively when it's not my team. If that was against your team, you'd be going, "What the?"
Yeah, that really was a blatant double.
And twice the Dragons had players tackled in the air. The rule clearly states that the player catching the ball has to be on the ground, and they've got absolutely belted. Of course, you didn't see it.
Talk to him, not me.
Yeah, you're not going to talk about anything that might happen to the Roosters, of course.
No, I'm just saying. And the Roosters had it figured out. They were very, very slow in the play of the ball.
Yeah, they were.
So all I'm suggesting is that there were a couple of games this weekend where I think the ref perhaps had more of an influence on the game than we would prefer.
Oh, you can have your opinion.
Now, that said,
yeah,
the Roosters were good after losing 2 players.
Yeah. Oh, that was a courageous effort, honestly. I mean, and I thought the Dragons were really good. I said to Barry online, I said, Barry, you should get a lot of encouragement out of this because their defence was really solid. We threw the kitchen sink at them for about 15 minutes and we couldn't get across the line for a while. Mm-hmm. We went out to a 10-0 lead and then they came back and they were in the lead for a short time. So, look, I think credit to the Roosters. They had Taukiaho and Jared Weary-Hargraves played nearly 80 minutes each. I mean, Takiaho did play 80 minutes. Jared came off for like 5 minutes and then went back on. And they just said, "Don't worry, we've got this." And that's what I love about the Roosters at the moment is this next man up mentality. Is somebody goes down, they fill the gap, and they train for this. And I think that's why they're being so successful. They've got a good roster. There's no doubt about that, but they utilise it to the best of their ability, and it was courageous. It's
you
terrific.
respond to that, or will I?
What?
Yes, they got a good roster.
I tuned out.
Okay. Right.
And did you hear this morning on Big Board's Breakfast? Phil Rothfield said, and they've got $400,000 under the cap.
Oh, yeah, Phil Rothfield will know. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Right.
Okay, let's move on to Queensland Country Bank Stadium, where it was 26-0 at half-time, and the Cowboys ended up winning against the Knights 32-20.
And that's where everybody's perfect round ended.
Yep.
Oh, I never had one from the beginning.
Can I just say, talking about bad ref calls, Kalen Ponga was basically in the clear, about to take the ball when he was tackled without the ball.
This is late in the game, isn't it?
Late in the game.
Yeah.
But I think at a point where the Knights still had the opportunity to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Why? But you know what? I think that we need to have a chance.
It wasn't even penalised, was it?
No. I'm actually gonna send a letter off to my mate Peter.
A strongly worded letter.
Because I actually think that players infringing in a try, you know what, we should give the... And I know it's, would a try have been scored? No. You pull a player back like that, I think the benefit of the doubt, if they gave it to the attacking player, we wouldn't see that be happening. You give the benefit of the doubt to the attacking player, that would have been a try and a kick from in front.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I mean, the real problem was...
Because I thought that was terrible. And there were a couple of them this weekend.
The real problem was that Cowboys shouldn't have got out to the lead that they got out to.
No.
The Knights were terrible in the first half.
And you wonder, because Adam O'Brien said, they're not as good as you think they are, or they're not as good as they think they are. Some words to that effect.
Yeah.
In reference to
the Knights.
To the Knights.
He warned them. He said, "You're not as good as you think you are."
Yeah.
And maybe they believed him because he was. I think he was trying to undo the hype because there's obviously a lot of hype around Newcastle at the moment.
Yeah.
In the town, and maybe it's the newspapers and things, and he was trying to undo some of that hype, and it backfired maybe.
Yeah. So the Knights' big advantage is their home ground. Like you get, it doesn't matter whether they're winning or losing. They've got this massive crowd behind them.
Yep.
Travelling all the way to Townsville and having no home game for themselves.
Yeah, but most of the other clubs are doing that at the moment.
Yeah,
South Manly, Roosters all travel to...
Yeah, but you've got no crowd. You've got no home ground. He's got no crowd.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying.
No home ground, no crowd.
We've got the best cardboard cutouts ever.
Yeah.
I just thought it was woeful in the first half, and I don't understand the Ponga no try.
Okay,
but the Cowboys were better. There's no doubt. They were better
in the first half.
They looked a lot better. Yeah.
Well, were the Cowboys not better in the second half, but Newcastle just actually found the will to play?
No,
the Cowboys weren't that bad in the second half.
Yeah, but the Knights clicked up a gear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And let's face it, like I said, if that try was allowed, it would have been 28 points to 6 in the second half.
Well, McCullough came out through the week and smacked them all over the heads for the way they played, the Cowboys I'm talking about, for the way they played last week. So obviously that worked.
Yeah, so, who knows?
Yeah. All right, let's go on to. Yes. Should we talk about the Broncos or just give this game a miss? Titans 30, Broncos 12.
I tipped them. It was disastrous.
It was disastrous is a good word.
Worse
than
horrible.
Can I say, I thought the Titans were good in the first half. Like they would have competed against most teams.
Yeah.
In the second half, they were decidedly average, and so were the Broncos.
So
that's it.
Okay, so Anthony Seibold, if you're watching, here is the solution to fixing your team, gentlemen.
Halves. Anthony Milford. I've been thinking about this. The Broncos have the same issue that the Panthers had under the Gus Gould era. When players came and they went, we've got to keep that young bloke, and they waved goodbye to all of the older, experienced players. Mm-hmm. And now, all of a sudden, they realise this, and they're stuck with... that's really harsh. They're stuck with players like Darius Boyd, who doesn't want to put his body on the line anymore. No. And he's not going away.
And Anthony Milford, I don't think has ever earned his $1 million.
If it is.
Yeah.
So, you know what? So, it's just a bunch, and you know what? And we'll keep saying it, and we'll keep picking them, because you look at that team at the Broncos, and you go, 90% of those would be in first grade at any other club.
90% of them. But the big names wouldn't. Where would you find a place for Milford at the moment? or
You
Darius
wouldn't.
Boyd at the moment.
You wouldn't.
So, honestly, I think the Broncos are better off losing
Corey
with a team that
Oates,
wants to win.
Xavier Coates, Katoni Staggs, Tavita Pangai, Payne Haas.
But hang on, but it's not only the problem with the two players. Those players aren't performing as well. The players who are out there as well.
But
nobody's performing.
But what you need is you need your halves to run the game and manage it. All right. And so what's happening is and this is the difference with Canberra with Penrith this year. Cleary's stepped up. He's now running the game. Why are their forwards looking so good? You watch Nathan Cleary. He's telling them where to run, how to run, who to run at, and making sure they get the ball.
Yeah.
The Broncos. Give it to Payne Haas. All right, he's set up. Give it to Pangai Jr. Yeah. All right, who are we going to go? Let's go back to Matt Lodge. Oh, let's go to Payne Haas. Yeah. There's nothing in the game.
But isn't that the coach?
If your halves can't do it, your halves can't do it.
Well, they put Tom Dearden on the bench.
Yep.
Brought him on with 17 minutes to go and put him in the hooker role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that just says something about the way they see the team. I mean, they've hung on with Milford for such a long time. Everybody is screaming for them to drop him so he can at least think about his game, because it's all too easy at the moment. No. Same with Boyd, you know. I don't know what they do. I mean, and I, as much as
I'll tell you,
Seabold says he's got a 5-year plan, a 5-year deal. I don't know.
Well, I have to say, it's just interesting with Milford. So I know that I want my halves to have the ball every set. I want to make sure, if not every set, then 90% of sets. You know, you want Reynolds to have the ball in his hands. You want Cody Walker and Cleary. You want him to... Keary to have the ball. Yeah. You want them to have the ball. I think Milford touched the ball like 12 times in that entire match. 12.
Yeah. So if your playmaker is not going to touch the ball, then
what's the point?
Who's going to get you around the field?
Yeah. So Broncos are disastrous.
Okay. Parramatta against the Raiders, winning in Golden Point 25-24.
I think,
as my perfect round was gone by now, I really wanted the Raiders to get up.
Look, I think the Eels are just finding ways to win. I don't know that they had to adjust to losing Mitchell Moses. It was a big deal.
They have to, yeah.
But in the last 5 minutes, they let 2 tries in, which made the game and pushed it into the Golden Point extra time, which has got to be concerning for the team.
Well, we've said this before because against the Roosters, they're in the game until the last 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, and they have done this before. So, Parramatta have to work out a way to play 80 minutes, not just 60, 65, 70.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, as much as we sit here and we've bagged them week after week, they're actually playing quite well.
Well, they are.
They're playing with a lot of heart, a lot of dedication.
Like I said a few weeks ago, what they've got more than anything is belief.
Yeah.
They've got belief that
that's mine.
It doesn't matter what happens, we'll find a way. Yeah. Clint Gutherson's been sensational.
Oh, he's excellent.
Thanks. Can I just say, in all honesty, I don't think they're going to mix. I'm not a Mitchell Moses fan, and they're just going to bring in Jai Field
or Jamin Salmon.
Yeah.
He's the reason why the Tigers need to keep Benji Marshall.
Who?
Because Moses goes down, they have Jai Field to come in. If Reynolds goes down, they'll have Benji Marshall to come in. But anyway, back to that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's why it should be a month loan. And so I'm confused.
Really?
Yeah.
He's finally admitted it.
Tell me. Curtis
Scott. It's surprising that he thinks he's just confused about this.
I'm just confused about this one thing. Curtis Scott was at Melbourne.
He was.
Everybody's talking the bloke up.
They are.
There was talk 2 years ago. Could we put him in Origin? How good is this bloke going to be? He is going to be the next big thing. How bad does he look at Canberra?
Well, Sally hinted that he had some really bad attitude problems, and she was glad to be rid of him. So
goodness,
maybe that says something.
Yeah.
Then he had problems in the off season.
Yep.
Before the court.
Yeah, I think the best thing that Ricky Stewart could do is just drop him. Like he's got to start making Ricky's team has now struggled against the last 2 opponents big time. They haven't looked good since Melbourne.
No.
And I think the only thing they need to do is make changes.
But Ricky's team did this last year. Every team, when they played a top 8 team, they were the kings of the world. When they played a bottom 8 team, they seemed to struggle.
A lot of teams
I
did,
think
yeah.
so. I think they were much more consistent last year. They've
They
hit a hole.
were, but there is an
They've
attitude.
hit a hole at the moment.
There is an attitude in that team that
Yeah.
thinks we're beatable, and that's the problem when they play a lesser team.
John Bateman, how big's his loss? You know,
Oh, yeah.
could be huge.
Big time.
I like Elliot Whitehead. Jeez, he
Oh, yeah.
works hard, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He
he's
does.
a mongrel. He's got mongrel in him.
Oh, he looks like an angry
yeah.
man too.
All right,
He
Brian,
looks
we're,
sneaky.
we're,
He looks sneaky.
Yeah, typical Englishman.
we're going to move on to the next game. And I'm going to open the floor to you to tell me what you thought was Manly's biggest problem this week. So, Manly go down to the Sharks 40-22.
One biggest problem.
The biggest problem.
Okay.
Back of that coaster.
I think the biggest problem is that they took the Sharks too lightly. Because, and I'll give you my reasoning. I get listeners out there, I'll give you the reason. Tom obviously has a hamstring issue. We've now seen it 3 years in a row, which is okay because most teams can cover someone, even a superstar, if they go down.
Yeah.
I think Des is thinking if Tom goes down, Ruben Garrick could step into fullback.
Yes.
All right. I've never seen a fullback more out of position, even Latrell Mitchell, out of position than Ruben Garrick
Sorry,
was.
Latrell. He's
Brendan Elliott
not that
would be
mean,
better.
really.
I don't think I personally don't think Brendan Elliott is capable of being in first grade.
No.
But I think so. I think Dez's plan was if Garrick plays fullback against this team that we should beat, then at least then we'll be able to move forward. And if Tom's injured, we have a fullback, and Tavina Whanua comes into the centres. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, but it's not working out.
It was. I was screaming for Elliott to move to fullback.
Yeah.
I mean, he just wasn't in the right position, and at one of Katoa's tries, honestly, he was there, and I don't know what he thought was going to happen. I'm here, please don't score the try, and he got shoved away, and I'm thinking, dude, you're the last line of defence. I like the guy. I think he's a pretty handy player, but not a fullback.
Did you? I don't know if either of you two watched the Channel 9 game.
No.
At the beginning of the game, and honestly, everybody saw it as an omen because sitting up on top of the scoreboard, it was a big eagle holding a fish in its claw and banging the fish on the thing to kill it.
Oh man!
Seriously, and everyone's like, "Wow, this is an omen."
I wish I had seen it.
And I tell you what, this was the fish eating the eagle. Really funny.
And there were a couple of strange decisions
Okay,
in this game.
and
Refereeing
let's
decisions
talk
in this
about
game too.
the one I know that you want to talk about.
Which one?
The one towards the end where the penalty. Yes, not the penalty try.
It was a
but
try.
It was a try.
Yeah. So two players collide. Wade Graham.
Well, one player gets bumped by another one.
Yeah, which is fine.
And then goes down.
In the jostle. But then the player that went down kind of reaches out and grabs the foot of the
As
player.
he was falling to protect himself.
Falling to protect himself. And little Jaden Brayley goes through and scores a try and then looks at the ref and goes, sorry, it was a loose ball, I had to dive on it. And the ref calls it a try.
Yeah, and then it goes to the bunker and they call it a try.
It's like, now I must admit, that was one of those decisions where if the Josh Morris one was dubious, I'm looking at this going, all right. And then I saw it on replay and went, oh, phew, that was, what? Let me tell you, I went off royally.
I can imagine, and I wish I was there.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to sit there with popcorn watching him.
Yeah, that would have been funnier than the game itself.
There was some strange refereeing decisions.
Over the weekend, there seemed to be.
Yeah, and in this game, I think the turning point was strangely enough in the middle of the first half. Cherry Evans had pushed Wade Graham out of the ruck because Cronulla were continually lying in the ruck, so he pushed him out of the ruck. And then tripped into him. The ref blows a penalty for Manly, then goes, hang on, to Cronulla. And they scored off the next set.
Yes, I know.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And who was the sideline referee? It was the badge. The badge who didn't see multiple forward passes. I don't know.
We didn't talk about that, did we? The forward pass that
happened
the
to Parramatta.
The Raiders
Doesn't matter.
scored off. That was a shocker.
Parramatta don't care about forward passes.
That was a shocker.
Anyway.
Yeah, look, the whole weekend there seemed to be some odd decisions. But you know what? If the referee's going to start changing decisions, then they either have to do it every time or don't do it at all.
I actually really didn't like the change.
But Gavin Badger was standing as close as I am to you when the ball was being thrown.
It wasn't Badge, because Badge was in the Canberra game watching forward passes and then going,
I was thinking, how did he get from one
Yeah,
he
sorry.
would have been tired? But yeah, he was as close as you are to me when the ball was being thrown past him and the player was over here and was supposed to be going this way. I mean, it was clear as mud, it was clear as anything.
Anyway, look, I want refs to make decisions,
Yeah.
but I don't want them to then listen to the players or the people around them and go, oh, I think I've made that one wrong. You know what? Grow a set.
Well, this is why we ended up with 2 referees in the first place, because video technology kept saying, one referee, you're getting it wrong, you're getting it wrong, you're getting it wrong.
Yeah, but
and so they put in 2 refs. Now you've gone back to 1. Maybe you just have to cut down on the video technology and accept the fact that one ref's going to make errors.
Did you know Peter V'landys has actually come out and said that he wants a limit on the number of video referee calls?
Yeah, good.
Anyway,
He's been right so far.
What did you think of the Sharks?
No, I thought they were average.
You thought Manly were just bad?
I thought Manly were really flat.
So given the way South played this weekend, the way Manly played this weekend, who would have won?
Manly.
I didn't
South
see
were
the
really
Manly
bad. We were bad. You were really bad.
I was where I was supposed to be on Sunday at 4 o'clock.
Interestingly, the Sharks only got a roll on though when our front rowers came off. And even though Marty was coming on after them, I don't know.
Heard Johnson had a reasonable game.
Yeah, actually he did.
Reasonable, nothing.
Yeah, no. Manly made him look good. They really made him look good.
Actually, Matt Moylan had the best game I've seen him play for a long time.
Matt Moylan.
He's exceptional.
He's been so injured for such a long time, I've forgotten.
I love him as a
decent
footballer.
player.
He threw a magnificent pass for a try. Honestly, he was
as much as of all the rugby league that I've watched over the last year, he is probably the most naturally gifted footballer that I've ever seen. He knows when to run, when to tackle, when to stop, when to go.
If only could stop being injured.
All right.
All right, let's move on to the Tigers against the Bulldogs, 34-6. I thought the Bulldogs would do a bit better.
Well, they scored the
34-6.
first try, and I thought, this looks good, but Harry Grant again. Jeez, he's a player, isn't he?
No,
See, I don't think the Tigers were a 30-point better team.
No, I don't think so
probably
either.
not.
They just have that. They've got that little bit of creativity that gets them to the line.
Yeah.
Norfolk having a fantastic season.
You know why? I think the reason why is the reason Canberra Joey.
Yeah.
Leilua is a machine.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's so big and he can hit the line or pass, always the winger comes in on him and he just gets the ball away.
Yeah.
And let's face it, the Kiwi guy at Canberra, Rapiner.
Rapiner, yeah.
Was amazing outside of Leilua. He's got no opportunity this year at Canberra. And who's outside of him this year? Nofaluma. Don't worry. He's going to score 1 million tries.
And Rapiner's on the same side as Curtis Scott, isn't he? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Anyway, very interesting. But yeah, I thought BJ was really, really good.
Yeah. Ladder.
No.
Okay. Yep. I'm up for it.
Okay. Go.
Come on, ramble on.
Take my glasses off, sorry. My new glasses. The Eels in first place on 12 points. 1 point behind in second place the Panthers. 1 point behind the Roosters climbing. The Storm on 10 as well. The Knights on 9. In sixth position we have the Tigers on 8. The Raiders on 8. And the Seagulls rounding out the 8 on 8. Just outside the 8, the Rabbitohs, the Cowboys, and the Sharks on 6 points. The Dragons, the Titans, the Warriors, and the Broncos all on 4 points, and the lowly Bulldogs sadly on 2.
Okay.
Race for the wooden spoon, isn't it? Who's your wooden spoon pick this early?
I still think it
Heart or head?
It'll be the Dogs or the Titans.
Heart says Broncos. Head says Bulldogs.
Oh, I'd love the Broncos to get the spoon. Oh, that would just... I would love that so much.
You're mean. That would mean that Seabold would not be there next year.
I would love it.
Look, I've got to admit, they're not going well, but I feel desperately sorry for him. Even if he's not a good coach, I don't know, but even if he's not a good coach, I feel desperately sorry for the position he's in right now. It must be awful. Absolutely awful. I would not want to be in his position.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking at the NRL from the sidelines tipping competition. Brian, you're leading.
Yeah, but
You're playing your joker. You played your joker.
I used my joker.
You used your joker?
You know why I used my joker? Because everybody was like $1 favourites, and I'm going, and I picked all of those guys.
So how many did you
Yes,
get? How many did you
bang,
get?
bang, bang, four. So I picked all the favourites. I'm in a big money tipping comp. 100% of people tip the Knights. Cowboys get up. 100% of people tip. What was the next game? The Broncos. And the Titans get up. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Well, I'm 3 games behind you, and I haven't played my joker yet.
Yeah, well, don't.
Yeah,
because let me just tell you, there's no guarantee.
I'm coming last and I haven't played my joker, but I think I'm going to get you at this rate. Okay, let's move on to next week, gentlemen.
Yep.
So,
Sorry, there are other people here.
Gentlemen,
He said gentlemen.
well, I'm talking to myself, obviously.
Yeah, right.
Let's go on to round 8, where Thursday night's game, Melbourne Storm and the Sydney Roosters.
Should be a good game, I think.
Chooks.
Oh, look, I think the Roosters can win this. Were the Storm that good last week? It sounds like they weren't.
Can we wait until I hear what Sally's actually picked, whether she goes for Melbourne
She's
or
going
not
for the
before
Roosters, of course.
Sally, stick true, go with Melbourne. They are going to win this game.
Are you on Melbourne?
He's on
I'm on Melbourne.
See, if Munster was playing, I'd go Storm.
Oh, actually, I thought about that. But
Yeah.
then Radley's out of the Roosters too.
Doesn't matter. They'll bring up
Now
what's his
Butcher.
name? Yeah, Butcher.
Oh, no,
Butcher
no,
will come into the
Orbo
team.
will come in at hooker to fill in for Jake Frank if necessary. You'll be right.
Yeah, don't worry.
We've got this.
Yeah, they've got Steve. They're the team with internationals in reserve grade. They don't care about
give
injuries.
It a rest. Seriously.
Do you know how many internationals you have in Manly?
Yeah.
How many?
Well, including second tiers like Samoa and Tonga.
Yeah. No.
Lots.
Main ones.
Okay. Well, there's Tom.
Do we have time for this?
There's 2 Toms.
Tom Trbojevic, Ruben Garrick,
Yeah.
Dylan Walker,
Yeah.
Cherry Evans,
Keep going.
Jake,
Vanilla Blake.
Yeah, Jake.
Vanilla Blake,
Yeah.
Marty,
Yeah, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep
Danny
going.
Levi. That's it.
Oh, there's only 8.
We don't have any in reserve grade.
We've got about that many, maybe.
We don't have any in reserve grade.
I think I just made my point.
Yeah.
You're as bad as they are. All right, so you're going Roosters?
Roosters.
You're going Roosters?
You're going
I'm going Melbourne. Okay, after that Friday night at Campbelltown Stadium, the Raiders against the Dragons. Will the Dragons get up? Say yes.
I can't.
If the Dragons play as well as they did last week and the Raiders play like they did on form from the last week, I think the Dragons can win. So I don't think the Raiders
But are you going to pick them?
at all. I'm tempted.
Okay.
No.
No,
You look
I
at-
can't.
You look at that Raiders team.
Oh, it's going to be
geez, they're
GIO
strong.
Stadium, isn't it? And they'll have a bit of a crowd.
Well, it's got Campbelltown Stadium.
No, it's
It's a
GIO.
GIO.
Oh, because they closed down.
Yeah. So look, based on the fact that it might be GIO and they might get a few thousand fans, I think it might be the Raiders.
All right. Yeah, I'm going Raiders as well. Bank West Stadium, Parramatta Eels against North Queensland. This should actually be a good game.
Like Eels. Oh, Bankwest Stadium. Because have they played anywhere else?
No. Even when it's an away game at the moment, they play Bank West.
So no Mitchell Moses.
I so want the Cows to win this.
I actually think they will.
And I don't think they've got a hope in hell.
No, I disagree.
Yeah, I think the Eels will win this.
I think the Cowboys turned a corner last week.
I don't. Steve, the second half was atrocious.
Yeah.
They haven't turned a corner. The Knights were just really off trust.
The first half of the
I
week
tell you
before they went 34-0 down, and then they played better in the second half. They played better in the first half of this game, and were terrible in the second.
I'm sorry, North Queensland will win this game.
You wait till the Rabbitohs game. You won't be so confident.
You want to make a bet on it?
We don't bet on this show.
We don't bet on this show.
We don't have any
But we
betting
do.
sponsors.
Parramatta,
We
are you prepared to back Parramatta.
He'll give you his beanie.
Let's see, Steve.
All right, okay.
If Parramatta win,
Yeah.
no, why am I betting on Parramatta?
I don't know. That's why I'm
What
prepared
am I
to listen
doing?
to you.
No, I'm not doing it. I don't want Parramatta to win. No, I'm not. No, I'm picking them, but I don't want them to win. Next.
Parramatta. You're going to
North Queensland.
Yep. So he's so far he's with
I
all
was
the
getting
Queensland
excited
teams.
there.
He's with all the Queensland teams so far.
Because I was looking forward to you wearing a South beanie next week. Okay, let's go on to Suncorp Stadium where the Gold Coast Titans will play the Cronulla Sharks.
Sharks.
I would have tipped the Titans if the Sharks hadn't played better.
They didn't play that well.
No, probably Sharks.
Hmm.
Okay. Central Coast Stadium
My
where the
goodness.
Warriors are playing Broncos.
Look, I'm going to tip the Warriors.
No, I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm going to also tip the Warriors.
Really?
Yeah.
Hang on, you said a couple of weeks ago, I'm never tipping the Warriors again.
Yeah, but the Broncos are that bad.
Then they can't be that bad again.
Yeah, they're away
Surely.
though.
They were atrocious. They were the worst performed side last week. Slightly ahead of the Warriors.
and
Slightly
the
behind the
Bunnies.
Warriors.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you're going Warriors as well? Okay. Let's move on to Bankwest Stadium on Saturday afternoon, Sunday evening. West Tigers against the Penrith Panthers.
This will be a close game, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we agreed that we didn't think the Panthers were as good as they might have thought they were. The Tigers are showing that they can put on some points. I rate the Tigers a chance in this game. It'll be tight.
I don't.
yeah. I'm
Panthers
gonna
will
go
win this.
Panthers.
Okay.
Isaac will shut down BJ Lalua.
Yeah. Sunday we have Manly against the Knights at Central Coast Stadium.
Lotto Land. We're
No,
going to
it's-
Brookie. We're at Brookie.
It's got Central Coast Stadium here.
Tough luck, you're wrong. We're at
It says
Brookie.
Lotto Land here.
We're
Well,
at
I'm
Brookie.
sorry, it's saying it's here.
Look, Lotto Land.
We're
I
at
don't care
Brookie.
what it says on your...
I am telling you right now, it's at Brookvale.
Yeah, I heard that it was going back to Brooklyn.
And I did not get a ticket.
Well,
Bummer.
the Knights are going to want to perform.
If I do get a ticket, I'll be there. I'll do anything. Any Manly fans out there who got a ticket, feel free, pass it on to me. I'm happy to go for you.
Yeah, remember, you've been listening for the last 40 minutes. You have to sit next to that.
That's right, yeah. Exactly.
No.
On the weekend.
No, we're
So-
only giving away one ticket.
Manly
per
and
membership.
Newcastle.
Manly.
Manly and Newcastle.
Haters gonna hate.
Well, I mean, look at the way you played last week and you're missing all those players. I think the Knights are going to want to bounce back.
Yeah, I think the Knights as well. Sorry.
Both of you are haters.
Okay, let's talk about the last match of the round at the last game of the round at Bankwest Stadium.
That's a no-brainer.
Ooh, the third worst team taking on the Bunnies.
This is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Dogs against the Rabbitohs.
Rabbitohs.
Thank you, Tom.
Oh, I'm torn.
Don't be torn.
Don't be silly. Honestly, I picked the Dogs for the last 3 weeks. I'm not picking them again. They are that bad.
Yeah.
Bunnies will win this by 20. You don't know how much I was praying for Manly to score another try in the Cronulla game
Oh, you would have been back in the 8.
no, because Cronulla would have then jumped us and pushed us down even further. So I thank you for Manly
Okay.
scoring another try.
You're welcome.
I didn't want them to beat you by 30. That would have made the difference. All right, that brings our show to an end, gentlemen. Brian, anything intelligent you want to say before we go?
Yeah. Come back soon, Turbo. We love you.
We?
We.
As in the collective we, or we as in you
We all love Tommy.
Tom, anything you wanted with?
Look, I wish Sam and Victor the best with their surgery and their
Talk
recovery.
about the game, not just about your teams.
Yeah, well, they're close to my heart. You know,
You know, Boyd Cordner.
he's allowed to talk about Turbo, but I'm not
Excuse
allowed
me.
to
No, I
talk
didn't
about
want him
my
talking
players.
about Turbo
Did you know Boyd Cordner apparently played with a 20cm tear in his calf for like half a year?
Right.
That's why he needed time off.
He's
I bet you Mitchell Moses has a half centimetre tear.
He's incredible. I mean, Boyd Cordner's incredible. He did his groin and then he got this gash
If we
in
were
his
talking
head.
about any other team, Tom would be saying, bored now, let's move on.
No,
So,
Tom,
have you got
bored
anything,
now, let's move
have
on.
you got anything to say about the Rabbitohs?
No.
Bored now, well, let's move on.
What am I going to say about the Rabbitohs? They're pathetic. They can't play any worse Please don't play any worse. Thank you all for joining us. This is NRL from the Sidelines with Tom, Brian and Steve, and we're going to do it all again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
See ya.
See ya.